Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jo Wilson, and I'm the Rector here at Larbert High School. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you along this evening for our S1 Virtual Information Evening. It's my intention to give you a brief overview of the school priorities for this session, and then our curriculum structure. And then you're going to get a bit of a flavour of what we're all about through a couple of different workshops. So, let's begin. You'll be aware by now that Larbert High is an extremely large school. In fact, last year we were the second largest secondary school in Scotland. And this year on our census we have 2,065 young people. However, although we have a lot of young people in this building and it's an extremely large school, I have to tell you that gives great strength and great opportunity. And what is extremely important is that we've got a vision. We've got a vision that is about being united in purpose, together with all our Larbert Cluster schools. So I'm sure this is a poster that you've all managed to see before. But yes, to work together with our families, our young people, to ensure that we're able to enhance young people's lives, our community and our world. And actually, 2 sessions ago, we refreshed our values with pupils, staff, parents and local partners. These values of being ready, respectful and successful are embedded in absolutely everything we do at Larbert High. We expect staff and pupils to embody these day to day in social spaces, corridors, classes, up the street at lunch, walking to and from school. And what we like to make sure that we do is remind pupils readily of what these values are and when they can display them, but also we reward young people when they do display these values. So I'm sure that you will see them regularly through your child's time at Larbert High School. And I think it's important for you to understand what we're all about and what we're always striving to do. And that is absolutely to make sure this school is a better place for your young people. We never stand still at Larbert High. We constantly want to improve to make it a better experience for our young people. And we do that year on year by publishing our school improvement plan, which can be found on our website. Using an agile leadership model, we adopt 3 pillars of improvement every session, which are around attainment, so improving outcomes, ensuring the best possible attainment for young people, around our curriculum, so how we make sure that our curriculum, learning, teaching and assessment is absolutely first class for our young people, and the climate that we have across the school. So ensuring that it's a positive climate for learning through culture, ethos, relationships, equality and inclusion. Our faculty improvement plans all sit underneath this. They all work towards the same pillars so that we're driving these priorities across all areas of the school. It's absolutely important that pupils, staff, parents feed into our plans for school improvement, and you will be asked for your feedback, so please do give us it. We're actually working with Impact Wales this year on our school improvement planning, and they've published and created for us a 1-page overview which is available on our website, which captures in some more detail some of our priorities for this session. So ultimately, I guess that having that vision, our values, our priorities, well, they all feed into that bigger picture. And there's absolutely no doubt that school is about coming and having a good time with your friends. But most importantly, it's coming and it's learning in and out with classes, picking up new skills and getting work ready. Because ultimately, it's about getting ready to leave school and moving into a positive destination. And I do realise that's a long way off for S1 pupils, but we need to know the direction that we're all travelling in. And what this graph shows is the percentage of school leavers from Larbert High over the last 14 years who have moved into a positive destination when they left school, either at the end of S4, S5 or S6. And a positive destination is either going on to uni, college, a job, an apprenticeship, a training scheme or volunteering. Now, the green line is Scotland, the blue line is Falkirk, and the red line is Larbert High School. And what you can see, and very consistently, is that Larbert High School is always above the Falkirk and Scottish average. And of course, we have blips from year to year. Every year group is different. But over 98% of our leavers over the last 2 years have been successful in securing a destination. And that's phenomenal. So yes, 2% didn't. That's around 7 pupils for us out of about 350 leavers. And that was for a variety of medical or mental health reasons. But I think it's important that you know that we continue to work with young people even when they've left us. We're still continuing to offer the most appropriate support. But what it shows and what should give you confidence about is that we know what we're doing, the curriculum we're offering is working, the learning and teaching in our classes is excellent, and the support that we offer our young people is first class. And we produce a poster every year which celebrates the success of our young people in their exams and in all of the other achievements that take place in the school. And let me tell you, there's an awful lot. And we share that with pupils and display it right across the school in every learning space. And this year we've really focused on 3 characteristics: to really keep going when things get tough, to be clear and focused on what the end goal is, and to make sure that you tap into your own strengths and to those of the people around about you. And there's absolutely no doubt it's really tough in the world out there. So those characteristics are going to be required more than they have ever done before. And we want to make sure that our young people, even our S1s, know what it is they need to do in order to be successful and make the most of their time here. So, good support, excellent learning and teaching, and a really strong curriculum plan will allow young people to experience success. And here it is, our curriculum plan. You can download it by clicking on our QR code or download it from the website. But what this does is it sets out what our curriculum looks like in each year group. And it illustrates how one year flows into the next. And there's 2 main principles I'd like to point out to you. And that's where our young people get to make a choice. And that's really important. And the other is about where we're able to provide support within our curriculum. And you can see that through the slightly darker green colour. And you can clearly see at our glance that our curriculum is about personalisation and choice and a really healthy dose of support. And that's because we believe if young people are hooked into their learning, if they're sitting in classes and subjects that they actually want to be in, then there's a much greater chance they're going to be successful. And I really would encourage you to spend a little bit of time looking at that. It's unbelievable how fast February comes around and S1s are picking their subjects in different curricular areas for the following year. So, I really don't know a school anywhere else that offers the same number of choices, courses, subjects, types of qualifications that we do. It really is first class and very much so an inclusive curriculum. And the appropriate support will be offered along the way to make sure that our young people make the right choices for them. So if I focus on S1 a little more, this is what their curriculum looks like. We run what we call a 32-period week here at Larbert High. And a period is just a block of time, all of them being 50 minutes. And most subjects where there are 4 periods, it will be timetabled as 1 double period, so that's 100 minutes, and 2 singles, so 50 minutes. Now, what I'm about to describe may be tweaked if your child's in an academy, and this year we have the highest number of pupils in an academy than we've ever had before, which is amazing, as they really do provide an enhanced experience in one curricular area, which is crucially all part of our DYW agenda, and that's developing the young workforce. And there are links with each academy to the appropriate governing bodies, whether that's further education links or industry employers, and it's really about developing a work-ready mindset in our young people, which we value and think is really important. So 4 periods of English and literacy. I guess that does what it says in the tin. Within modern languages, there will be a rotation of Spanish, following on from what's been covered in primary, French and German. And then further up the school, there will be an opportunity to study Italian and Mandarin. Humanities is a mix of geography, history, modern studies and RMPS. Maths, again, is pretty straightforward. In science, taught by one teacher, there will be elements of biology, chemistry and physics. Technology consists of 1 period of enterprise and 1 period in our practical workshops and 1 period in our IT suites, looking at CAD design and graphic communication. Expressive arts is delivered by specialist teachers and will be a period each of art, drama and music. And then health and wellbeing is 3 periods of PE, 2 periods of food and consumer technology, and a single period of MESP, or as some people maybe called it, personal and social education. But for us, we call it MESP because we really focus on the mental, emotional, social and physical well-being of our young people. So it's a great curriculum. And if you have, then please go on to have a look at our plan and how it unfolds into S2 and so on. And at this stage, I thought it might be useful to just introduce you to our SCQF framework that we work with. Because schools and qualifications can be a bit confusing these days. And I know that qualifications and exams are also a bit away, but I do think this will be useful and hopefully put into context where we're heading. So SCQS stands for the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework, and quite simply, every single type of qualification on Scotland that you can ever think of will be placed somewhere on this framework. It's a scale that goes from 1 to 12, and the higher the number, the more difficult or advanced the qualification will be. And it covers everything that we would normally do in a school, like HIAs at level 6, and it also includes things like HNCs and HNDs that are normally at college, and even degrees at university and PhDs too, right at the top of the scale. So these are probably the qualifications you are most familiar with. These are the ones that are most common in Scottish schools, and they replace all the things that came before, so standard grades, O grades, intermediates, etc. We don't have those now. This is what we've got. So National 3 all the way up to Advanced Higher. And there are some differences in these qualifications. So for instance, there's no final exam with National 3 or National 4. Teachers do all of the assessment in class from the bits of work that pupils produce, and getting a good set of National 4s opens up the doors to apprenticeships, training programmes and into college courses too. National 5 and Highers do have external exams that take place every year as directed by the SQA, which is the Scottish Qualifications Authority. So that seems nice and simple. However, as schools look to develop their curriculum, including Larbert High, and offer their pupils greater choice, that has influenced the type of qualification that can be offered. So in Larbert, we also offer these qualifications in light blue. These are the ones that are traditionally not offered as much in secondary schools. However, I have to say they are becoming more and more common. Or they might have been offered at college before. But we do offer them, and some of them in partnership actually with Forth Valley College. So a couple of examples are our HNCs in dance, applied biological sciences and sports coaching and development. We offer NPAs and NCs in subjects like criminology and exercise and fitness leadership and hospitality. So a really diverse range of qualifications and subjects, normally available from around S4 time. And some of these don't really have final exams. They're continually assessed by a teacher or lecturer. And like I said earlier, that just makes these qualifications so much more accessible to more young people. And of course, you'll be very familiar with the CFE levels from Curriculum for Excellence, because of course that's the course your child has been following for the last 7 years or so. And that's what our courses are planned around in S1, 2 and 3. We mainly cover work within the 3rd and 4th CFE levels. But of course we have young people who are working at the 1st and 2nd level. But handily, 3rd level in Curriculum for Excellence has the same level of difficulty and more or less the same content as National 3 qualifications from the SQA. And likewise, 4th level in CFE broadly equates to a National 4 qualification. Now remember, these National 3 and National 4 qualifications don't have exams. They are internally assessed by teachers using the work that has been completed in class. Now, if I'm thinking about the SCQF framework that I talked about earlier, here's how it matches up. So 4th level in Curriculum for Excellence, broadly the same as National 4 from the SQA, which is the same as Level 4 on the SCQF framework, and so on. I hope that makes sense and you're still with me. And back to SCQF, just for a minute. Now here are the main levels that we cover in secondary. So, levels 3 to 7. And I'm going to match that up with the CFE levels in S1, 2 and 3. So level 3 on the SCQF framework more or less matches up with 3rd level Curriculum for Excellence and so on. So you'll note that the highest CFE level is 4th level. And then, if I add in the more traditional and familiar SQA courses, you can see that an advanced higher is level 7 on the SCQF framework. A higher is level 6, National 5 is level 5, and so on. So if we have young people in S1, 2 and 3 who are working beyond 4th level Curriculum for Excellence, what is it that they do? So if they've covered all the content, their skills have been developed to a particular level, and they are confidently showing that they can perform at this level, well, we certainly don't have them sitting doing nothing. They'd become bored and switched off. So what we do is we start to introduce work at National 5 level, so it's more complex and demanding. Because it's higher up the SCQF framework, they can definitely cope with it. And they don't all do it, but those that can absolutely do. And then, as I said earlier, it's not just highs and nationals that we offer here. We offer all these other types of qualifications. And this just shows how they fit into the SCQF framework. So you can see that a HNC is level 7 on the SCQF framework, and that's the same difficulty as an advanced higher. And the level 6, where you would traditionally find higher. And there's a whole host of other courses there too that are just as difficult as a higher and worth the same in terms of employers, colleges and university. Those NPAs in criminology, exercise and fitness leadership, hospitality that I mentioned earlier, yeah, worth the same as a higher or a National 5 if they're at SCQF level 5. And sometimes more and more now, rather than the type of qualification, it's better to think about that level of learning that a young person is working towards. So if I'm doing science at level 6 or I'm doing engineering at level 4, you probably can't remember what all those acronyms stand for, but this presentation will be uploaded on our website so you can go back and have a look, and we will make sure that whenever we are working towards curriculum review and course choice that you are reminded of all of this as well, because I know there's a lot to grasp with the curriculum structure in Scottish education at the moment. So there we have it, we've come full circle, and I hope you have a better understanding of our qualifications and our curriculum structure and what it is that we offer. And don't worry, like I mentioned, every time there's a choice to be made, you're picking a subject, your child will be provided with the appropriate support they need. We're well used to doing this, we know what we offer is good and it works, and it leads on to lots of success for our young people. In fact, this session we had some of our best exam results that we've ever had, and more of our young people passing qualifications, which is just amazing. So we will be there at the appropriate times to provide the appropriate guidance. And throughout this journey, because I completely appreciate there's a lot of information out there, and how do you streamline all of that? Well, if you ever need any further information, we have just refreshed last session our LHS website, so you can find lots of different information on there. We've got different websites for pupil support that you can link to from this particular page, for course choice as well is all on there, and for destinations. And actually, we just sent you home at the start of this week our communication guide. This allows you to click on the different headings which are hyperlinked so it can take you to whichever area you need support with, or maybe just so that you know and you can find, or where you can find different elements. So it might be to download the school app, it might be to follow us on Blue Sky because we try and share a lot of information on there, how you can make sure that you can get on Progress to read your child's report when we email out, the link is there. Everything to do with learner journeys and curriculum reviews on there under support, our pupil support website, how to access any setup, any equipment or uniform, for example, the form is on there as well. So that's all in that communications page, and we'll make sure that is pinned on our website and on our Blue Sky page. And yes, there we have it, Blue Sky. As you might be aware, Falkirk Council have moved over to Blue Sky. We no longer post on Twitter, so I would encourage you to follow us there, because we post anything that's maybe young people have been involved with, any events. We have a pinned tweet, or I can't call it a tweet now, a pinned post every week, which allows you to see what the overview for the school week looks like, what our calendar looks like, and the same is available on our app. So that's everything from me. Hopefully you have a clearer understanding of our structure and again our improvement priorities. Thank you very much for listening, and I really do look forward to meeting more of you in person when you're in and around the building. That's everything from me just now, but I really hope you enjoyed the workshops that we have on for you this evening. Thank you.